Yeah.
Hey, wait, I got a question
Deep
for
in the
you.
game. Uh-oh.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Where's the hot sauce?
The hot sauce has been retired.
Man.
Yeah, do you like hot sauce?
No, I was just going to come in and be like, yo, I would like to try a teaspoon of the hot sauce.
Just to try it.
Yeah.
No, hot sauce is retired.
And then I can swear one time, this is a Because Design Matters exclusive.
Because Design Matters exclusive.
This is 93.3, where as Stevedave knows, time is our only enemy. Is Stevedave your real name?
No.
No?
No.
Because you're in a long lineup of legendary two first namers.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe. Joe
Yeah.
Dirt, you know?
Lee Michelle.
Lee Michelle.
You familiar?
No.
Adam Scott.
Yeah.
Ricky Bobby.
No.
You don't know Ricky Bobby?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, oh my God. How about Steve Irwin?
Steve Irwin? Hell yeah.
Elton John?
Elton John.
Nicole Richie?
Nicole Richie.
I got a second note. Give me a
Lionel
second.
Richie, I guess, would count for that too then.
I think that counts. Matt Damon?
Matt, I don't know about that one.
No?
No.
Damon?
Damon? Damien? Damon?
I don't know. You might be right. This is when we get into the FE ones. Amy Adams?
Yeah.
Adams, though? Is that her first name? I don't know.
No, without that, she's in Gone Girl, right? No, that's not her.
No, she's
Is she
in...
Is she in Talladega Nights too?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's also in the Dewey Cox story.
Love that.
Now, here's where it gets next level. Sean William Scott.
That's 3.
Doesn't count.
No?
No. Maybe.
Why not? Now I'm trying to think of ones you haven't said, and I'm blanking.
Yeah, I got a good one for you. Ready? Kevin James.
Oh, Steve
Yeah.
Dave.
Stevedave, Kevin James.
That makes the connection.
You guys should collab.
Wait, Kevin Smith. Is Smith a name?
I don't. Who's Kevin Smith?
That's the guy who made Clerks.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
And the Steve Dave character.
I don't think Smith is a first name.
We'll count it.
So, Steve Dave is a character from Clerks?
Yeah, Mallrats, Clerks. Like an ancillary, you know.
I haven't watched it in a long time.
Me either.
So I didn't make the connection.
Yeah.
Now
No, a lot of people
I'm gonna
are like-
insert it right here.
Yeah, do it. Do the cartoon though, because they're like, he's like, we're having a sleepover at Steve Dave's, and the guy's like, aren't you a bit old to have sleepovers, dude? And then he always like retorts something, and then he's just like, tell him, Steve Dave.
So then that's like that first sentence, like the vibe you're going for. It just, aren't you too old for sleepovers? It's like everything's kind of got a fun. There's a light energy to some of it, right?
To be honest with you, if I hadn't chose that name when I was like 16,
Yeah.
it would have been a much different decision.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie.
So you've been Steve Dave since you were 16.
Yeah, I used to when I was a kid, I used to go by all these like fake names.
Can you give me some other examples?
Todd Schischler, Gary Spindler. Those are the two big ones. And then Todd Schischler was like, I got a fake Facebook account as Todd Schischler, and I got relatives
Yeah.
that are like, you know, they just added me because we have the same last name.
Oh, and you're just like, yeah.
Gerd and Karen.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, we wish them happy birthday on Facebook.
But Steve Dave's got a specific ring to it, I think.
Yeah, that was the one. And it's just funny. I'm just like, I don't know. It
And
was
I like-
always a joke.
I like that you present it as one word.
Yeah, it has to be one word.
Yeah, it's not Steve Dave.
I hate when people
Steve Dave.
capitalize the D or like split them up
No
or anything like that.
emphasis on the D. Don't be doing that.
No.
You watch anime?
No.
I thought you were either going to be all the way in on anime or completely do not like anime.
I'm indifferent. I'm sure I could get into it. I've
just
heard
not into
good
it.
things. I watched like Dragon Ball Z when I was a
Okay.
kid.
Yeah, but then
And,
moved
like,
on from it.
The big ones, you know, like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon.
And
like
watching
the ones.
them present day or just at that era?
No, that era. I love like cartoons. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you would consider King of the Hill an anime, which some people might.
It's like American anime.
Yeah, you know, like that's the American version of that. I'm on board with that. That's one of
Yeah.
my favorite shows. But I don't know. I don't even know where to start.
Top 3 favorite shows. King of the Hill. You already took a slot.
Ah, man, I have to take Futurama for sure.
Futurama.
And then
Yeah, go ahead.
Smiling Friends.
I don't think I know that one.
Check it out, dude.
All right.
It's insane. I named my record label after it.
I was going to say, I just saw you drop the merch.
Yeah.
It was presented by Smiling Friends.
Smiling Friend.
Smiling Friend, no
Yeah.
S.
No TM, whatever. Yeah, because
no trademark issues.
That was just like me. I'm smiley. I'm trying to be like approachable and happy.
Yeah, fun
And then
guy.
Smiling Friends is about these two characters. One is like super upbeat, and the other's like nihilist, like kind of a downer. And their job is to like make people smile. and they get like a
okay.
different. It's like a 10-minute show, or the animation's like insane.
Yeah. So you're only one half of the Smiling Friends.
Yeah, more or less. I got my counterpart, who's a negative downer.
See in the corner?
No,
Okay.
this is Andrew.
Nice to meet you, Andrew.
He's doing lots of stuff to help me out. I would never have a manager, but this is as close as it gets.
Help with all the behind the scenes.
Yeah, him and my other Smiling Friend guy. He's renting the microphones for my show tomorrow. And
That's
shit.
important.
Yeah.
Like on the list of importance, microphones got to be top 5.
Like I would also, just to say, I would advocate everyone has to have their own mic. Bring your own mic.
Just in case.
For shows, man, like showing up with nothing is crazy.
Yeah.
We're getting like, wireless mics.
There's nothing better than like somebody not having something and you'd be like, "Oh no, I have it." You know what I mean? Like bring this extra stuff.
I mean, I'm happy to provide, but
Yeah.
I don't want to be the guy who shows up and asks to borrow a microphone.
Yeah.
Like no offense,
No.
but it's like,
And I
you
don't
can get
mean
one
like
for $80
you like
bucks.
setting the show up. I mean like when you go somewhere and you're part of a show and something blunders, to hook them up and have the wire, the thing they need is like a saving grace sometimes.
Yeah.
So bring some crap.
I'm happy to be that guy.
Yeah. But there should be many of that guy.
Yeah, I try to surround myself with
That guy?
with those guys as much as possible.
Those are good guys.
Yeah, people who come through, like it's we're doing DIY stuff, so
Of course.
it's like you kind of everyone has to play their part
Yeah.
if you want it to be the
And
best that it can be.
multiple parts sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like
Absolutely.
when you see a role that's not being filled, it's like, oh, I can help with that. I can do this, and all of a sudden something's now it's better.
I'm staring at the camera.
Yeah.
Hey, wait! I got a question
Deep
for
in
you.
the I
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Where's the hot sauce?
The hot sauce has been retired. Yeah.
Man.
Do you like hot sauce?
No, I was just gonna come in and be like, "Yo, I would like to try a teaspoon of the hot sauce."
Just to try it.
Yeah,
No, hot sauce is retired.
and then I can swear one time.
Oh, it like got you a pass.
Yeah,
That's a
and
good
like,
angle.
I talked to a few people about this. Like, if I were to do that, that's one swear word, right? Per hot sauce.
Yeah.
Or is it like I can just
for hot sauce.
okay? Yeah.
So if you swear, I'll bring hot sauce to the show.
Okay.
We'll catch up with you on this.
On Wednesday.
Yep.
Okay, that sounds good. But I was like really hyped to go in and be like, get the hot sauce loaded up.
I'm gonna.
I would
have
like
some,
to try some,
just off the top.
and then I can swear one time,
Mm-hmm.
and then if I want to swear again, we'll do
More
it
hot sauce.
before, like
Yeah.
preemptive.
Instead of it being a punishment, you're like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Now you see what happens is I'm here within the confines of CFMU at present day, and they tend to complain about a lot of the stuff I do, and the hot sauce is one of those things.
What do you mean?
Exactly. What do you mean? Why can't I have hot sauce?
Okay, is it a sort of fundamental like you're excusing swearing somehow or giving people the opportunity to swear?
It's being considered food.
Oh, it's like that. And
Yeah.
you're like over all this expensive.
I even did it like very like. Not allowed.
Okay, well,
Not allowed. Brody has a lot of strikes against his name, but
Thing-
episode 100 is next week, and then things are gonna change.
you're going to swear 100 times?
I might.
Well, like swear words towards whoever's stopped the hot sauce because
Yeah, swear words at you.
I literally, the only thing I had prepared for tonight
It was the hot sauce bit.
was I was going to come in and be like, let's do the hot sauce right off the bat, dude.
Nope, not an option.
Okay, well,
Are
it's
you-
all you now.
Are you happy?
Me? No. Sometimes.
Just because of the hot sauce, or just in general? No.
Yeah, I'm a pretty happy guy overall, but I go up and down.
Life's are the hills and valleys, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's-
exactly. I like to think that things could be a lot worse, but
Yeah.
if things could be better, then I'd be the one making them better, not anybody else. So I only have me to blame for that.
That's a good outlook on life, I think. Can't blame nobody else for things. It's
No. It's nice when you can. Don't get me
Great,
wrong.
great.
When you have like someone cuts you off or something like that. This guy cut me off today actually. And I'm like
still
same-
haven't let it go.
Same car. That was the same car as Andrew, and then I texted him after and I'm like, it was you. So
Yeah, I was cursing at some a-hole. And
No signal?
It was you. Oh,
No
wow,
signal?
What a guy.
I should take the sunglasses on or off.
You just go back and forth. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think like after 2 more questions, put them back on, and we'll go from there.
I feel like they're really cool. We're gonna make it hard to edit this together.
Good. No, actually, see these little microphones now? These little ones?
Yeah.
This is so AI does all the cuts for me.
No way.
It's so great.
Yo,
Oh my
that's
God.
cool.
I used to do the full 2-hour episode, and then like leave here and listen to yourself talk for 2 hours immediately. I can't do it. So it just saves times. It gets you the YouTube video faster. It's great.
I'm sorry, Allen Iverson.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Just bumped into him.
If I give you some names, can you just give me like one word? What you
Yeah,
think
that's
about them?
fun. I like that.
Yeah, you've seen that before.
Okay.
Neck.
Beautiful.
Hoss Bowman.
Denzel Curry, but white.
Smoothie Lou.
Beautiful as well.
Commuted.
One of a kind. That's
And-
not one word. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, you cheated. The release parties are when?
We got this Friday, tomorrow, in Kitchener
Mhm.
at a thrift store called a vintage store.
Mm-hmm. Not a thrift store.
Not a thrift
They
store.
must not like that.
No, well, I don't know. I'm like, shout out to Drew,
Okay.
but it's not. You go in and spend $3. It's like he found the thing and he's charging you his
That's
price.
becoming the new thing.
Yeah, I mean, my buddies there's a couple buddies I know, like Lost Vessel is like a couple of my good friends shop in Waterloo. They do shows there too.
Yeah.
And then this guy, Drew, skater dude, he's like been around for a while, like selling clothes and shit. I swore.
Oh, I wish I had hot sauce.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe I'm gonna start making people just like eat a Post-it note. I don't know. We're gonna figure something.
Well, I don't want to do that.
Start poisoning people.
But anyways, so Drew, the guy you'd like see at the thrift all the time, like he's like at the thrift,
Yeah.
like rinsing
Hunting.
everything. Yeah, and he just opened up his own shop like last year, and I was like, he's never done a show. He's done some art shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The guy who did all my logos, Zach Gucci Razel.
Oh, okay.
He had an art show there.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, you haven't done any music. And I have a friend named Nate who, like, he's got to rinse every venue. So I'm like, let's get in there before Nate.
He's the first one in every time.
Yeah, every time. And then, like, the millionth one in over and over again. So, yeah. Thrift stores, fun places to play shows. If you can get, I got a brewery on board. Short Finger is a cool local brewery.
See?
Best beer in KW. And they're bringing in some beer. They got a catering license, which is a nice workaround.
Yeah.
No SOP, so
Oh,
like
yeah,
that
you
makes it
don't
a lot easier.
Don't got to deal with the government so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
So
those one night event permits, sometimes they're a pain in the ass.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they're good. They bought that. They got their catering thing for that reason. And
Smart.
like I said, dude, it's like we got the thrift store. We got Neck coming from Woodstock. Commuted. I used to play shows with him a few years ago. It's been a while since he came down here. We've done
And that's tomorrow night.
And then next week, Wednesday,
And then again,
Casbah.
Casbah. Shout out Casbah.
Smoothie put that together for me.
Shout out him.
And I just repurposed the same flyer because I like the vibe.
Good vibe.
Nice to have my name at the top of it for once.
Where does it normally end up?
Middle bottom.
Middle bottom's not bad.
No, you know what? I don't want a headline, so that's cool.
Now, are you headlining for your shows?
We've been having this discussion.
Yeah.
So
It's a discussion I find myself having all the time now.
normally I'm like not headlining for sure, and normally I like don't want to headline
You
either.
have no choice in it.
Yeah, generally, yeah.
Yeah.
But I do have a choice this time, and the thing is, like, it's my release show. It's my birthday, Friday,
Double
tomorrow.
header.
So it's all about me,
Yeah.
and I know a lot of people who are coming to see me,
Yeah.
and I don't want any of them to leave because I played in the
That's it.
middle.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I would say second last. Nice spot.
We got 3 people.
There you go.
Yeah. that was the original idea, so we'll have to see what happens. I might
Yeah.
end up going last.
3 people's not bad.
3 people is the move. The only thing is, it's nice to have an extra in
Yeah.
case someone bails.
Sure.
That's like been booking shows for a long time, and like
People bail.
4 is like the perfect number because you kind of expect one person to bail, and then
Yeah,
you got
it's
3.
like one too many, so then you lose one.
Yeah, and that's great.
Yeah.
5, no, don't want to be there for that.
You've seen the lineups that go around. There's 6, 8
I mean,
long set lists.
I do get it with hip hop too. Like I
Yeah.
understand that like you can shrink things down a bit. You're not like tearing down a stage between each band. Like
Just tough to get people to stay to that last person sometimes.
yeah,
right?
and there's been like shows I've seen locally in KW. Like I'm not speaking to beyond my own means and that sort of thing, but I've seen shows where it's like 20 guys on the poster,
yeah.
and like it's 1 a.m. and they're like 10 acts in, and it's like everyone wants to go home. It's like, dude,
And they're just being supportive and they're just staying.
I want nothing to do with any of that. Like, I don't want my 2 minutes on stage if that's the
That's
parameters.
the case, yeah.
Like,
There's
I want
some Toronto shows that go the same way. It's almost like It's too many.
Some of that stuff seems like it could be pay to play, but I don't know. Like, or you
Yeah.
sell, like, you have to sell so many tickets.
It's like I don't say reverse pay to play, but it's almost like they're putting so many people on the list, hoping that everybody brings 2 people.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, we got a packed show. It's like, no, you got 2 good friends of each act.
And then they all come up to the front of the stage and like take videos when it's
Yeah.
like that dude, and then they kind of like take turns going to the front.
What's the busy set? Like,
Yeah. No, man. I kind of like. I come from like a really DIY punk scene, and like all my friends are in bands, and
Okay.
so I've like booking shows and playing shows has always been from like that approach more than anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I don't know how to describe it, but it's really just about, you know, giving people some entertainment and not too much, you know, not making things like too inaccessible, like $10-15.
Yeah, you make it too expensive, especially at the level that everyone kind of that we're working with is at. $50, $30. Expensive shows are tough to sell people on. You know what I mean?
No
Like,
one's paying $30 to see me. I wish. Maybe one day.
and there's certain venues that almost like force you to
Yeah.
do that, right? So that makes it tough.
Well, and that, like I said to you, man, it's like finding people who believe in that, who believe in like local art and community, and they know like I'm gonna bring this guy in. Like I book shows for some places where they're like, I'm not gonna charge you a fee for the venue,
Yeah.
but I know that you're gonna bring some people in.
Yeah, and that's what they're looking for. Most
Yeah.
time these bars that people are booking or venues, it's like they want people in there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
They're selling drinks, they're selling stuff, they're whatever. Like,
I've said this before. Like I'm a amateur, semi-professional alcohol salesman. You know,
good thing to add to a
that's
show.
that's kind of what it's all about at the end of the day.
Mhm.
Not exactly. You know, if you want to teetotal and come out to a show, there's fun for you too.
But for the venue,
yeah,
that's kind of what it's all about.
yeah, needs to happen.
Yeah, they're like, that's where we're making our money.
yeah,
We need some of these beers to sell.
yeah. And I know bookers who like, you know, they'll get suggested an act, and then they're kind of like, it's on the bands to bring the people out. But when I book a show, I'm like, who's gonna bring people? If you're not going to bring people in, then I don't really want you on the show.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
It's
not like,
tough.
I'll put one person, even like, that's where it gets more difficult too, like out of towners. I just booked this show last week with Capri Soleil.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you're familiar, but
I think I am.
he's from Waterloo. You should check him out.
I'll give him a Google.
I just booked a show for him. He's local Kitchener-Waterloo. And, you know, he's got his crowd. And then there's like a hardcore kind of metalcore band called Soulsick. They've got pretty good pull too, and I owed Endy's a show,
Yeah.
so I was like, let's put Endy's on this. And he's coming from London, but he's still pulling people here. He brings people with him too.
Yeah. He
So-
brings more people than some people who are from the area bring
Yeah.
to shows sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Like that's,
So it's just like, you know, and the bar was happy. Like I'm happy. Like I didn't. I just split the money up between the acts and like made sure everyone had a good time.
yeah.
But the bar's happy because I'm gonna like bring people in. They're gonna
That's what
buy
they want.
drinks and have fun and
We say like you need a set list that's half people who are going to perform really good
yeah.
and half people who are going to bring people.
Yeah,
It's nice when those are the same person.
Yeah.
But it's not always the same person.
No,
right? Like,
and like finding that middle ground, I think, is like the key to booking shows. Because like my buddy, I have a lot of buddies who talk about this too, that book shows, and the philosophy is like you can either like book stuff you like, or you can book stuff that pulls.
yeah.
And finding that like middle ground has been like a 10-year
And then
art
it's like,
for
where
me.
do you place them on the set list?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like, you can't have the guys who are good with no people be too early, or the guys
No.
who are
Exactly.
trash with lots of people.
Yeah.
right?
So I think like coming back to it now, like my show tomorrow, it's like I love Commuted, I love Neck.
yeah.
You know, they're both. I mean, I'm gonna pull probably more than anybody because it's my
It's
release.
your birthday too. That's
And
a
all
double
that.
header.
Yeah, like there's a moral and social obligation for the people who I talk to.
It's basically a birthday
Yeah.
invitation.
So this is the only way I'll ever throw a birthday party. By the way,
This is from the School of Smoothie Lou shows. That's his like
man,
yearly birthday show.
that I respect. Like if you're gonna do a birthday party,
Yeah.
book a show
Yeah.
and then make it about other people too.
Which works, right?
But like having a birthday party as an adult, I don't know if this is a controversial opinion, but whenever someone invites me to a birthday party, I'm just like, I'm not going, dude. I'm sorry. Like,
I'm not coming to celebrate you.
how many birthdays have you had? You know?
Yeah, you're old enough.
Yeah. You're 30.
Cut it out.
Yeah. So this is my last birthday party ever. I'm 20. I'm gonna be 29.
And like
After 30, I'm not counting anymore.
ticket sales are gonna go on. You're like, next year birthday show.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. This could be the last. This could be the last. The last. I don't know. What would be a good word for it? I don't know what I'm going to do after this album. I don't know what I'm going to do after this like run of shows, after these T-shirts sell out.
Like you might not make it to your next birthday. That's what you're trying to say.
Oh, no, man. I'll be alive. I just don't know what I'll be doing.
Fair,
I have
okay,
no
that's
idea.
like
I made this album, and I'm just like, this is sick. This is what I've been trying to do.
Mhm.
I mean, like, there's things I could have done better, whatever, but
It's life.
from, like, stepping up from my last project and the project before, I'm just
Yeah.
like, this is what I wanted all those projects to sound like. And so, like, beyond this, I need to, like, evolve, or I'm just going to essentially make the same thing.
Yeah, you
And
don't want
so-
to just keep putting out very similar
Yeah.
bodies of work. Like you
Yeah.
want to.
So I've, like, written a couple songs and, like, made some beats and stuff like that, but I'm just, like, I'm not going to force it.
Yeah.
You know, I might write a novel.
It's good to get those like ideas out. Like when a song idea comes, record it, put it in the hard drive or whatever.
That'll never happen. That'll never happen.
What'll never happen?
If I do that, the
Yeah.
song won't get done. You know,
Okay, so these songs you just recorded,
all the songs,
they're coming out.
What, for my album?
No, these ones you just said you've got a couple ideas.
I have, like, if I don't like do it,
Yeah,
write it, record it, make the beat within like an hour,
yeah,
it's gonna be pulling teeth for me to finish it.
yeah.
It's like that lightning in a bottle thing where it's
Mhm.
like you kind of have to just like strike while the iron's hot. Like every idiom, every like cliche about it. That's what I would say right here. You know,
Yeah.
like that's all. Like
Insert some corny clip.
yeah,
like, no.
you talk about people a lot when they're talking about writing songs, and it's like you just know. Like I just knew that this song was sick or whatever. Like I just knew that this hook was good.
Mhm.
And like, granted, I've like workshopped things a bit and like matured into like writing something and like editing it before I record it.
Yeah,
That's been like a process for me, but to a certain extent, like you can overdo things,
100%.
and I think that one thing as like a hip hop artist that I don't think a lot of people really like think about is that like coming from that like school of thought from like bands, these people play the music that they write like thousands of times before they record it.
yeah.
And like at least for me, it was like I would write a song, practice it a bit, and then record it.
Yeah.
But it's like if you're playing with a band, you're like workshopping these ideas in front of people. You're like seeing what works. You're like introducing different dynamics into it that like kind of reflect even
As it's happening.
Yeah.
Rather than like some hip hop artists talk about like not writing stuff down because they're like, then I won't change it. Like,
Yeah.
It becomes too concrete once
Yeah.
it's like typed out or written out. Like,
think about Kanye going from like that like college dropout-y era where it's like more heady, like cerebral hip hop to like Graduation, and then what's the one where he does all like the stadium tracks?
all
Is that
the
Graduation?
stadium track.
No. No, that's not Fantasy. Man, I don't know my Kanye that well apparently.
Life
but
of Pablo?
No. The one with Can't Tell Me Nothing on it. Is that Graduation?
Can't Tell Me Nothing is Graduation.
Like that album, Kanye was like sampling Steely Dan. Like he's played stadiums, and
Yeah.
he's like, I can't, do these like
Yeah.
real dense, like heady, conscious things to a crowd of 10,000 people. Like I want something they
need a
can
hook
sing
they
along
can
to,
repeat.
right?
Yeah, that's it.
And I think that is like, it's so interesting to see how that like kind of evolved in someone like Kanye's career. And even Drake said the same thing, like, I'm not writing for like clubs, I'm writing for like stadiums now or whatever, where
Yeah.
you want things that people can chant along to. And it takes like getting to that level before some hip hop artists are like, no, I want something that is easy to sing along to, that
They're
whatever.
like, I at least need those songs on the project too, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I can have the dense cut
Yeah.
track, but I have to have this
Yeah.
kind of song, or the album's
Yeah.
not.
And all that coming down to like the audience interaction part when it comes to like live performance and like
Mhm.
the way people engage with music is like, it's all in what you're trying to do, right? But I think that it's like an under sort of like, it's hard to even think about that in hip hop when you're like, I'm in my bedroom, I'm
Yeah.
recording this stuff by myself, I'm making beats, like I'm showing my friends, they're like, that bar's sick. But
Yeah.
it's not like I'm seeing the faces people make when I say that line. Like there's lines I had where I wrote and I'm like, this is so funny, this is so silly, and then I see that that's the line that like sticks with people, but I don't even know that until
You do
you
it in
know,
front
I
of like
perform it.
an audience of people who aren't already like there to support you
Yeah.
sometimes too, right? Like
Yeah,
your friends and
exactly.
stuff who want to see you do well
Yeah.
will be like, they'll find the thing to like a lot of times, right?
Yeah.
Where if you do it for just like a room of people who maybe aren't even there to see you perform,
Yeah.
I think that's when it can like stick better, right?
Absolutely. And I think that I'd like to say, I don't know, man, like everyone does their own thing, and I respect art in general. Like if you're creating and like putting stuff out there, like that takes a lot no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm not like, I can't knock anyone's craft, but I think that like when I started, I was kind of just like, this is sick, people will think it's sick. And then 8-10 years later of like actually trying to write songs, I'm like, I've honed in on like, okay, like this is gonna stick in people's heads, like that's why I'm saying this here. Like I have the song on my album with Neck, Sports.
Yeah. And you say what do you say? You say
You have it written down.
You say does something never like sports.
If you never like sports, if you cut off the legs of your pants to make shorts.
That was the next line too.
Yeah.
I didn't write it down very good. It was it's to remember.
Yeah, and
Didn't
that
remember.
like it rhymes.
Yeah.
It's silly.
It sticks with people. That's what I favorite show was. Maybe Smoothie Show. That's what I posted for the show. I was like, this show's for people who never liked sports.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
it's something that I think resonates with a lot of people because it's not. We talked about this before. If something has to be like specific enough for people to relate to it. It's
Yeah.
like you could be like, oh, I hate Mondays. And it's like, oh, it's so open ended. So generic.
Yeah.
But it's like people who don't like sports divides people, right? Like becomes more polarizing of a statement.
Mm-hmm.
And what's next in that song? He says, this is the question I have for you.
What's next in that song?
No, neck in that song.
Oh, like an old puppet with some loose strings. I'm
That's a
out of
good one.
control.
I like that line.
So I'm working on my mood swings.
Good line.
Show me more than real sports. Skateboarding, getting bruised shins.
You got it memorized.
You've
listened to the song.
Had to lose your shorts. No. Had to lose your shorts because I'm sick of getting bruised shins.
And I like that it like connects with your part of the song, right?
Yeah.
It's not just like sometimes people throw a verse on that's just like nothing to do with the rest of the song.
Yeah, man,
that connected.
That wasn't even supposed to happen. Neck was mixing the album.
Okay.
And I was in Aurelia in a motel.
Yep.
And I was thinking about how, do you know Home Sweet Home? Are you familiar?
Home Sweet Home.
He's like a homie of Neck's that passed away.
Oh, okay, no. I'm not
Really
familiar.
sick artist too, like phenomenal. A buddy of mine shot some videos for him too.
Okay.
And he's just like, he was like brilliant, like kind of ahead of like the curve on like this like emo pop punky
that's
sort
interesting.
of like with hard beats.
Yeah, I'll have to. There's some stuff online, obviously. I can
The
find.
X's, the O's are X's, Home Sweet Home.
Okay.
So I'm in this guy's hometown.
Mm-hmm.
He's passed away a few years ago. Rest in peace. And I'm messaging Neck about the album. He's mixing the last song, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I need a Neck feature on this album. Like that has to happen. I don't know why he's mixing it. I don't know why I haven't thought of that.
Yeah.
And he's like about to send me Sports, and I'm like, no, dude. Whatever song you want, choose a song, but I think you should put a verse on Sports. 15 minutes later, he sends me back that verse.
And I think that works to the same idea of what you're saying about like the lightning in a bottle, right?
Yeah.
Like it was so like right
Yeah.
then and there, and it wasn't like he had this verse that he's been working on for it. It was like, oh, let me record something to put it in.
And it's like perfect because like I didn't really like put two and two together and think about how that's not. I mean, when I was making that song, I very purposefully made it like half of a song. Like
Okay.
it's just like two hooks
Yeah.
and like a refrain or whatever. I don't know. I'm not
Yeah, well,
structuring
yeah,
things
I know what
properly,
you're
but
talking
there's
about,
no
though.
verse
Yeah.
in that song. And Neck put a verse on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's done. It's done now. It's a single. That was the last single. It's my favorite, probably my favorite song on the album. Like,
I think that has a like high relatability for people, right? Like you talking about performing in front of the crowd, like that hook can catch people well, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, and it's not dense. It's not overly. I like that what you said about like being like specific enough to be relatable, but like vague enough that you can like still apply it. Like, I think I heard like Drake say something like that, and I'm not trying to like talk about these like big
artists,
big name artists.
Now we've got a clip. You said Drake, no?
There we go. But like, just that I've heard that said where like I loved Drake a lot growing up, and he had these lines that were like, I'm on the 401 Eglinton East End, and it was just like, as someone who's like from Ontario, I'm like 401, like
Connected
that's
right
sick.
away.
It's
Yeah.
kind of vague. It's like you could know about that if you're from somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
If you're from the States, you're probably like, that must be a road where
Yeah,
he
you
lives.
understand it's a highway or something,
or
right? Like
whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like lines like that.
Yeah.
that drew me into
I
certain
forget
artists.
who came up with the actual quote, but it's like this idea between like originality and relatability, like it being
Yeah.
like a scale. It's like
Yeah.
you want to land somewhere in the middle there,
Yeah.
one way or the other. Too niche where nobody's gonna connect to it is just
Yeah.
too vague. Too, I'm at the club and
Yeah.
it's whatever, right?
Made me think of Mick Jenkins too. Actually, he's got that line where he's like eating hella poutine.
Okay,
You know that
yeah.
one? What I'm talking
Oh,
about?
yeah, I do.
I forget the name of the song, but
Yeah.
but that one too. I'm like, I just wanted to shout out someone who wasn't Drake.
Drake, yeah. Because now's not the time to be shouting out Drake. Like.
No, like shout out Kendrick. That was so
Yeah.
fun to watch, man.
Oh, it
I've
was
never been
great
so.
time for hip hop.
I've been listening to country
Yeah.
for so long because like hip hop's been boring. I'm sorry. Like I was really into like emo rap. I'm more honestly invested in like local music now, like
Yeah.
local hip hop than I had. Like I know more names from like even just like Hamilton from just like meeting Smoothie and like
Yeah.
seeing your show. Like I'm more familiar with that than like what's happening.
The Hot 100 or
Yeah,
whatever.
and like I do like Gunna though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm steady on
maybe like another controversial take.
the new.
He said, "Shout out Drake," and I love Gunna. No.
I love Gunna. He also was like, I'm still on YSL. I saw a clip. It could have been AI, could have been fake. I didn't vet it. But
Yeah.
he was like, everyone else is gone. Everyone else snitched because they stuck around.
He's like, I didn't.
He's like, I took the deal, and I'm still on YSL.
Mm-hmm.
So watch out for it, man. I would bet money that he's gonna come out, and him and Gunna are just gonna drop a slapper.
I think it is cool between them, and everybody kind of pretended like Gunna snitched and that's how he got out. But
Yeah.
the way I've seen a couple things as well, and like Young Thug's dad did an interview or something and spoke on it too,
Yeah.
being like, "Nah, we're good."
Yeah.
And I don't think he'd say that if it was even like
No.
muddy.
No,
right?
absolutely. I think they're cool, and I think, man, people wouldn't be messing with Gunna like that if
If it
he
was
really
very
was
clear
like,
cut.
yeah.
Yeah, and the Young Thug thing, it seems like it might get thrown out or something. It's getting. I don't know if you've seen any
heard
clips,
that.
but
I'm hoping so.
his
I
judge,
hope-
his lawyer was like held in contempt because of something. It
yeah,
was,
the judge
it was a
was
lot.
like the judge was definitely doing something shady.
Yeah, he
so
was
I'm told.
like-
Again, I'm not well versed.
No, me either. Saw a
but-
couple Twitter clips.
Yeah, I get too much news from the internet to be able to like say I've fact checked. You know.
I fact checked by like the thread connected to the tweet. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, there was 3 people who agreed. I think it
Yeah.
might be true.
If I care about it enough to fact check it, I'll fact check it.
Or I'm
but,
like, if it's important enough, like if it's
Yeah.
just some random stuff, I'm like, oh, it's
Yeah.
like, ah, whatever.
I will if I'm gonna go share this information with somebody.
Yeah,
I'll like go on a radio show or something.
yeah.
I'll fact check it.
See, I'm here every week, so that's too much work.
Yeah, that's
I just
fair.
got to spread nonsense.
Man, as long as you kind of, I know people who are like so convinced of their nonsense
Yeah.
that like they'll tell you something that's wrong just like with
be, like,
all the
stubborn on
confidence.
it, yeah.
And I'm like, that drives me insane because I could say something I've seen and somebody would be like, no, that isn't true. And I'd be like, well, hold on a minute.
And then what they'll say to me, like, oh, you're just stubborn because you're an only child. Shout out James Favron. That's what he'll do. I'll be like, no, you're just wrong a lot of the time. Like, that's not on me. That's on your family dynamic, not mine. But yeah, I get exactly what you're saying. Especially when it's like a light Google away.
Yeah.
If I can like quickly find that you're wrong
Yeah.
and I do it, I'm not the bad guy. I refuse to be the bad guy in that
No.
situation.
No, and there's you got to pick your battles too.
Yeah.
And I used to be a bit of a smartass where I'm like, if I know someone's wrong, I got to prove them wrong. But like I feel like in my like big age, as I get older, I'm just like if somebody's spewing nonsense and it's not like directly impacting me,
I'll let you be wrong.
I'll just dude, go tell more people that. Like
I won't let James Favron be wrong, but I'll let a lot of people be wrong.
well, if you care about your friends, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, that's it. I'm
And
not doing it to
I don't
mess
want
with
my
them.
I don't want my homies going around speaking nonsense because
Yeah.
then they're gonna
It looks bad.
People are gonna be like, yo, why are you hanging out with this guy?
That Yahoo who's always talking nonsense.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's fair.
Did you think it would be this hard to be an adult?
That's a neckline.
Might be.
Yeah.
It's also a question.
I don't know, man. I have no idea. Like I don't
I'll
know.
let you know when I get there.
Yeah, I don't know what I just things keep happening, and I'm just reacting to them as they happen.
Yeah.
That's it.
And
You
like
know?
maybe it seems like more things are happening as you get older, but I think it's just like you're more aware of the things. When you're young, there's things going on, but you're not the one who has to like deal with it, maybe, right? So
Yeah.
it just like seems like nothing was going on.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That I have another line too on like a really old song that's like, I'm always torn when they say now you're an adult. That's not what I asked for.
Okay,
And
that's
like
good.
the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
not to pull it back to me after we talked about neck, but
Yeah, his line was good.
no, his line's better. His line's better, but it's the same sentiment, man. I feel like maybe it's something about art. And they have like that, you know, when you like take mushrooms. Can we talk about that? When you like take mushrooms and you're like, wow, dude, I have all this like creativity and like these like inner.
I'm so aware of all these things.
Yeah, and it's like I don't really do drugs or anything anymore, but when I used to take shrooms, I was like, that's like me hanging out with my inner child, you know?
Yeah.
And
like
I think about
innocence to you all of a sudden, like.
I think about the relationship there with like art too, where it's just kind of like, you know, there's a lot of. Think about like The Little Prince. Are you familiar with The Little Prince?
I don't think so.
It's like this French philosophy
Okay.
novel for like it's a kid's book for adults essentially.
Yeah.
Like if you check out my last album, Stevedave the album, the whole like
You're good.
the whole art and concept is just kind of like I'm doing a lot of illustrative hand stuff.
It's all for YouTube. It works. It'll work.
The whole concept is kind of like based around The Little Prince, and The Little Prince is like this kid who sees these like adults like working themselves to death and like drinking and like partying and doing all these things, and he's like, yo, why are you doing that? You like talk about how you don't enjoy this, like why are you spending
continually doing it
so much time doing that? And it's kind of like The Little Prince is like, I could be getting it all wrong, I don't know what I'm talking about either, but
this is my version.
What I took from it is that like as an adult you kind of like lose, you know, what it means to be kind of I don't know, like experiencing things for the first time or whatever, like vague nonsense.
I get what you're talking about. And a lot of people like relate
childlike
that to, like,
wonder.
But there's like creativity outlets that people have when they're a kid.
Yeah.
And as they get older, they like, stop using them. I had multiple people be like, "Oh, it's good that you like continue to like do that." And I was like, people get caught up in like work and partying and whatever, and then they don't have any constructive like outlets in there. You know what I mean? There's just nothing they're doing that's like.
Well, if you work, at least you might have money or like a house to show for it.
The amount of people that are like, "Oh, I hate my job," is like more than half for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But I'm like, I'm thinking more on like, man, I'm really glad I didn't party too many years away. I definitely had fun, but I'm like, at least I have art to like show for like the nonsense of like I tell people I'm like still a teenager. Whenever I see family, I'm like, just living like a teenager, man. No responsibilities.
I think you need those things to like have the stories to tell in art, right? It's like you gotta go through some stuff to be able to like talk about it.
Yeah,
you can talk from someone else's perspective if you want or whatever, but it's like to have your own frame of reference for these things. It's better. You don't want to do it forever. I always push the idea of like chapters in life, right? Like, good to have that party chapter. Yeah, but don't let it become your like life
for sure.
Because then it's sad.
And now I'm kind of thinking back. Just what you're saying is kind of connecting some neurons or whatever. Where I'm like,
I think satellites are linking up. Like.
Part of why I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna. I just moved your camera. Keep talking. I got like ADHD for sure.
You're not the first one. Don't worry about it.
What was I gonna say?
Neurons connected.
It's gone.
Creative outlets as a child to an adult. Don't party your life away.
Don't party your life away. Oh yeah. So what I was gonna say is, I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna make another album. I don't know what I'm gonna do next.
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe it's because my life is chill now, you know?
You're supposed to be like fully in this like current moment.
The stuff I'm doing is like, and not that I wrote about like any of the crazy things I got up to when I was a teenager, but I feel like I was like less self-conscious and more willing to talk about stupid things. Yeah. And like as I kind of like became an adult, I'm like I'm talking to my therapist and I'm like, you know what, man? I feel like my relationship with my dad would have been better if I liked sports more, you know? And so, like, kind of like this idea for that song, not that it was deep like that, but it was just like, yo, man, like, if you didn't like sports, then you're probably going to, like, be here and, like, at least that might be something that we all have in common.
Like, I'm not the only one in this room that might have felt that way.
Like, if you're enjoying what's happening right now, you probably also did not like sports that much.
No, when you said it at the show, you do a quick look around, you're like, this is the crowd who probably wasn't, like, big football. Yeah. People. Like,
and then just like making shorts out of pants is like, come on, man. We've all been doing that.
Shorts out of pants.
Yeah, that's That's how I got most of my shorts.
All the ones I liked, anyways.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie though. I'm kind of moving into my like more gorp kind of. Mm-hmm. Now my pants zip off into shorts, which would have been more accurate
options.
Yeah.
Tougher to like work into the hook though. You know, it just doesn't have the same ring to it.
I do have a lot of jean shorts and a lot of
Those are the best for cutting.
Short shorts, you know.
Yeah, you cut the jeans short a little high.
Yeah. Daisy Dukes.
Get a little slutty for the summer.
Pockets hanging down.
Yeah, the pockets hanging down. You
Yeah.
know that you cut it high when it gets to the pockets.
Yeah.
I'd have just the tip of the pockets, a little reserved.
Yeah.
Spotify or Apple Music?
This is a tough question, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to make everything deep.
You're gonna
but
divide people on this.
I've had Apple Music since like streaming music became a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Loved my iPod growing up. I had a bunch of iPods.
Put together your catalog of music.
They're great, and as I like started like really thinking about releasing music,
Yeah,
I was like, everyone I know listens to Spotify,
yeah.
so I'm just gonna get Spotify just to
DM
have
them.
like a better relationship with like how people engage
Yeah.
on that platform, and I think it truly is different. Honestly,
Yeah.
like I feel like if
Did you
you're-
commit to that? Are you still on it?
I listen to most things on Spotify, but it has
Okay.
changed how I listen to music. Like, I think it feels like Apple Music, maybe a little bit, might be more like project driven.
Okay.
Whereas, like, think about when you go to someone's like profile on Spotify, you have like the top 5 songs or whatever, but you go to the album, there's no like specific data. Whereas, like on Apple Music, you go to the album and it kind of like tells you like what songs are hot on the album with like those little stars.
And I've done that thing of like downloading Spotify to like work better with like people who are listening to playlists and whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like if you don't pay for the premium version, now it's giving you the songs like not in the right order.
Yeah.
So when you think of an album not in the right order, I'm almost like, ugh.
Yeah. No.
I was like, I want to hear it one
As
through.
intended.
Yeah, don't
As
give it to
intended.
me as a mix.
Yeah. So maybe that's a sort of like I over-explained version of like my gripe with
Spotify.
They're both honestly
Yeah.
great. Like I think Spotify makes things like more accessible and it makes things like easier and
Yeah.
it's really good at like recommending new things. Like I think I've found more new music from
That's fair.
Spotify.
Yeah.
But it's like if I had that, where was that when I was 15?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was on like LimeWire and SoulSeek
Finding it, searching it.
and on torrents and like peer-to-peer networks, like downloading
Mm-hmm.
random files from people. Like that was how I discovered music. And then I get Spotify and I'm like, oh, it's just all here pretty much.
Yeah, and it's
not
like,
everything.
it's like here's the song.
but
This is the song. You
Yeah,
want. I say,
and-
how do you know?
all these bands that like I was a kid like deep diving into like old punk bands or like whatever it is, like Memphis hip hop, whatever. And I'm like trying to find these like really obscure things,
Mhm.
and like seeing those things kind of like slowly trickle into Spotify.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
you're taking the
I-
good out of it.
I wish. Well, no, I wish I had that when I was a kid,
Yeah.
but I probably wouldn't have been even like looking for that stuff because I would have just had like what's huge pushed right onto me. Like I feel like both Apple Music and Spotify. You hear that stuff with was it Olivia Rodrigo or who's the other one? That's like kind of like a alt pop '90s throwback. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Is it like Charlie?
No.
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 Olivia Rodrigo.
Just-
Is it
Carpenter?
The one with Sabrina Carpenter.
I think it might have been her. There was someone who like was getting like the U2 treatment where like people were like having her music pop up on Spotify.
Automatically.
Yeah,
Oh, that-
automatically, and they were like, "Yo, this reminds me of like the U2 thing." I
People have
think
been
it's
saying that about Not Like Us too. They're like,
true.
you be listening to like Japanese jazz, and it's like, listen to Not Like Us.
Yeah.
Somebody
I mean-
did it with Eminem. They typed in Eminem's new song, and they're like, Eminem spelled it all the way, and the second recommendation was Not Like Us. I'm like, well,
Dude,
that
you know
don't
what?
make full sense, but
I think that
Yeah.
so many people are bumping that song that tracks.
yeah, it's
like-
like they're just getting behind what's getting
Yeah.
listened to.
Yeah, and they're like, you know, like definitely some people have probably went from that track to that track, whether it was like the free jazz or whatever.
Yeah.
When that dropped, man, everyone stopped what they were doing.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Same day.
Yeah.
Same day after
like,
you already dropped Meet the Grams, this came out.
if you were like involved, if you listened to music, I feel like, and you weren't intentionally like
I don't care,
avoiding
like,
that,
yeah.
you listen to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, that tracks. But
Yeah.
having like this like big pop album just get like forced down, and you know her label's working with Spotify.
Yeah, they're in cahoots.
That's the U2 thing all over again. I don't want U2 on my iPod. Like,
Yeah, I didn't ask for this.
yeah, but
Get out of here.
yeah, Not Like Us, man. That whole, even when Drake dropped the first response, what was it again?
Push-ups?
It's gone now. That was so good. I'm like, yo, he's calling his feet small.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
that's
it's-
so funny,
It's
dude.
a fun, and that was, I just watched somebody talking about it. They were like, Kendrick has made jabs at other rappers for like years. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And it was like the difference in this beef was Drake doing that like direct response.
Yeah.
That's what like got it going. It's
Yeah.
like once he put push-ups out and then continued to troll him with the Tupac stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
Then it was like, oh no, we're gonna have a beef now. Like,
Oh man, I almost like that's one of those things too. What were we talking about today? I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot my bag in this community car share thing, and I'm like, I could live in that moment before I find it, like knowing that, you know, like I'm not sure that it's there, but when I do have that relief, I'm like, I could live in that moment. Like I kind of want to live in the moment before Not Like Us dropped, because it was like, you know, something's gonna happen,
you're
and
not
you know
sure,
it's gonna be big. I remember seeing like weak AI generated Kendrick songs, and I'm like, if this is real, like this is whack. And people are like, it's real, man. Like Kendrick is gonna lose the beef, and it was like, there's no way he can. Like he can't. It's not possible. But like the way he like had people like in the club singing that song.
Oh no,
like,
it's become the song of the summer.
Yeah,
I remember reading this interview where Drake was talking about back to back when he put it out against Meek Mill, and he talked about how they were like, oh, you have to put out a song that's going to be everywhere, that you can't like escape. And I'm like, Kendrick was somewhere when that interview came out. She went, all right. And then when we beef,
taking notes,
this song's going to be everywhere, because now it's going to survive. He's putting the video out apparently like very soon, like right now.
What did Zach Fox say? He's like, Kendrick's gonna call him a pedophile over some free jazz. And he did do that. And I'm like, man, you know what? Yeah, it's sick. He said a lot of crazy stuff, but like, I'm not putting that on in the car. And then Not Like Us drops, and I'm like, oh yeah, dude, I'm putting that on in the car.
That's what I was talking about the other day. I was like, it's a wild time that somebody can be making such a like crazy accusation on the track, and it's still like the song. Like a lot of the song is pedophile jabs. Like certified pedophile is a main part people repeat. A minor is like another whole, like it's a lot of you're a pedophile parts.
Dude, it's brutal, because I'm like, I don't want to get involved. But I feel like I'm kind of like also speaking on like what I'm seeing. I'm not trying to choose sides here. But I'm like, because we're in Ontario.
This is right outside Toronto.
So I don't know if he has people near here.
You're gonna be in trouble on the way out.
He's shutting people up or whatever. Like, I'm no beef. I bumped Take Care when I was 15. I bumped it so hard, dude. My brother put that Connect song on from Nothing Was the Same, and he's like, check this out, dude. He says 401 in this song.
And you loved it.
That's sick. And then I got in a breakup right before If You're Reading This, It's Too Late.
Great time.
Came out, and I was like, dude, I'm in savage mode.
I don't need her.
So I've had lots of great moments. Same with Kendrick, man. Like,
but with that being said, what you're saying is that Kendrick
destroyed him. The fact that Drake hasn't responded is just like,
well, man, he put out a song. He did reply on a track, but the track was very much like, we're not doing this no more.
Oh,
the heart part.
The thing is, man, and that's gone. Like he scrubbed it from most places.
It's like he needs to reply to what's happening now. Almost
he's in defense. And that's when I saw a lot of like, just dude, I can't tell you how many videos I've watched over the past month that are like
breaking it down.
Kendrick just changed hip hop forever. Like he changed hip hop forever like 80,000 times in the past month, dude. I swear to God. But
that's where it overhypes it, right? It's just like it's too much.
And I'm like, at this point, it's brain rot for me. Like I'm literally just like gonna watch a different guy talk about the same thing for like 15 minutes.
I joked you talking about people who don't like sports. I kept telling everybody this is my Super Bowl. I was like, Drake and Kendrick going head to head. I've been waiting.
But essentially what I was gonna say is like, when you are no longer making accusations and you're defending, like he's like, I couldn't be a pedophile.
I'm too famous.
I'm famous.
After we just saw all these famous people go to jail for being pedophiles, it's like, no, bad take. No,
bro. And then the Millie Bobby Brown thing, and I know, hey, everyone's saying the thing about Millie Bobby Brown. So, like, it would make sense for him to bring it up, but everyone's like, yo, Kendrick didn't say anything about her, dude. Like, why are you introducing that in the conversation?
And he tried to get ahead of it. Like, when he did the Tupac track, he had Tupac like, he likes young girls. I heard him on the Joe Budden podcast, but nobody cared. Now you got to put it somewhere catchy, too. Like that. He's got him. He's in a tough spot.
Man, on the whole, though, I'm like, it's great to see. It's kind of funny when, like, I saw people, like, beefing each other, like, on your show.
Oh, my God. After I put out the first clip of the guy being like, oh, Drake won, it's still to this day, there's like 200 comments of people just being like, y'all are white and we hate you, stop talking about hip-hop. I'm just like, please leave me alone. And all we said in that clip, but I was like, Kendrick needs to like push this beef at the show tonight. And then he did. And they're like, no, you're wrong and you're white, shut your mouth. I was like, oh my God.
I mean, fair enough. I'm like, man,
what are you gonna do?
I'm just responding to what I'm seeing. But
I I didn't even say nothing crazy.
No, like, and also, like, I saw there was, like, dudes on your radio show beefing with people.
Yeah.
Like, who's that guy? I forget his name. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm, like, kind of new to the
Oh,
Hamilton
like
scene.
beefing each other?
Yeah.
Like right after the Drake and hip hop.
Yeah.
They
It was like
totally fired up from that.
Yeah.
And then the guy apologized.
Yeah.
Oh, that
whole
was
thing.
that was a terrible era for
Yeah.
Hamilton hip hop.
I'm like, man.
It was almost like my favorite thing to happen in the scene for a second. Because
Yeah.
it was like two people who could rap who were going to rap against it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is cool.
Yeah.
And then he apologized and the other guy crushed him. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
And
embarrassing.
it becomes real. Because, like, man, I feel bad for Drake, you know?
Yeah, it's
I feel
tough.
bad for. I'm like, man, I'm kind of more like. I would like to see everyone be creative. Like, I would
Yeah.
like to see.
I want him to keep making songs.
Yeah, like, I don't want Drake to
Twitter said,
switch to Hey There Delilah or
yeah,
whatever.
but Twitter
like,
said he's putting out a song tonight. He's
No
gonna
way.
he's gonna reply to Stomp on the video release.
Is the video coming out
says
tonight?
Twitter. They teased some promo yesterday, which makes it seem very like soon.
Yeah.
Drake's gonna put out a track. You heard it here, fifth.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I'm like, man, I don't want any competition. If someone sees this and they see me as like easy prey or whatever,
Leave
sick.
me alone.
Nah, man, come at me, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a bitch. Like, I am a kind of nerdy white kid from like a farm town.
Okay.
Like, I make sad rap music.
Mhm.
Like, there's a lot of things to pick apart there for sure. So I'm like, I'm not gonna beef, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not
That's
gonna
what I'm here
have.
for.
I'm not gonna have rap beef or whatever.
That's what you
Even like
think.
when I see people, I've seen people say subtle things
Mhm.
where I'm like, I don't know if you're talking about me or not, but it's like 10 years ago I would have said some shit back,
Yeah.
and like now I'm like,
Ugh.
I'm doing what I'm doing, you know, and
I run into it because people don't like being talked about on the radio.
yeah,
We try to keep it light enough.
yeah,
But as soon as you say something that's not positive, they're like, "Oh yeah, Brody's the devil." Wow, I wasn't the devil last week when we were promoting your stuff. But
Yeah.
now that you don't like the reaction to the clip,
that's funny.
I'm the worst. That's
That's
what
funny.
happens every time. If there's
Like-
a bad reaction to the clip, I'm the worst.
Like, I'm like not trying to dissuade it. Like, if
Yeah.
someone sees this and wants to come on here and be like, this is what I think about that guy, like, I would get angry,
Mhm.
but I would also be like, that's funny.
Yeah, you
Like,
gotta
I'm-
have. Don't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
That's like the key.
Yeah, like, I would like to see. I want to know what people think of me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
That's
Yeah.
when somebody says something negative. I'm always like, I'd rather that than you
Yeah.
thinking it and not saying it.
Yeah.
Get it
Like-
out here. Like,
Short of asking every single person I ever meet, like, yo, what's your opinion on me?
yeah,
You know what
Like,
I mean?
I want to know though.
Putting
Yeah.
putting yourself out there in this way, doing an interview, doing music, whatever, is like a very easy way to see
Get
how,
critiqued.
how
Yeah.
people respond to your. And if you're not ready for that, I'm like, man, I got news for you. This might not be.
That's what I always
you
try to
should
tell
be
people.
doing.
I was like, if you can't handle the reaction
Yeah.
to this clip,
Yeah.
you should probably back
But
it.
that being said, I don't know if I can handle criticism.
Yeah, either.
It's been a long time learning how to handle criticism for me, and I
Yeah.
still take things personally, but I'm still just like doing my thing.
The difference between like Brody, the graphic designer, helping people, and Brody doing the radio, it's been night and day reactions. You know what I mean? This
Yeah.
put me in such a different place of like critique for sure.
Yeah.
Right? So
Interesting.
I appreciate you coming out. Come to the show tomorrow. Come to the show Wednesday.
Yep. My real name or Stevedave. And I've been watching because you've been watching because design matters.
Killed that.